the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. A time for qualifying for the 500-mile Classic. A field of the best race drivers in the world have assembled here to win their positions on the starting grid. This is the inside story of many of those men, but of one in particular, Mario Andretti. This is Mario at Indy.
Mario Andretti is one of the big names in racing.
We're very much interested in Mario and his racing. I had never seen him race before, but I came a long way to see him this time.
Mario has got a fine personality and a great driver, and I'd like to see him win this year.
Oh, it'd be a big thrill to be near Mario.
He's the type of guy that adds a lot of color to anything he does.
Mario Andretti, he's a doll.
Mario is unquestionably one of the finest drivers that has ever lived. He's very versatile. He can get out of a dirt car and jump into a road racer or a Formula car. He can get into a championship car, run on an oval, and it just doesn't make any difference. If it's got four wheels and it's to be raced, he's a very fierce competitor. He's a real likable guy. He's easy to work with. All I can say is just great. You couldn't get tied up with anybody better.
The team of owner Roger Penske and driver Mark Donahue is one here, especially top runners like Mario. Donahue's teammate, English driver David Hobbs, comments on the Penske effort.
Mark Donahue is probably one of the best racing drivers in America, probably even the world. And this all goes to help the team become as good as it is. There's nothing like winning to make you win. I've never been in a team yet where the attention to detail and to the grand plan has been anything like as organized as it is in this team.
You like to feel that you yourself, in some way, you're setting the example also. So you like to try to be as original as possible, say, if there is such a thing, you know, in the way you're doing things. So you can be especially proud of that. So we take pride in whatever we do, and especially if it's a little bit different from the other guy. And these are all things that are not really noticeable by the layman, you know, but they're there.
In racing, champions surround themselves with winners. Mario's crew chief, Jim McGee, is such a man. With a competition the way it is, you have to be able to do everything right the first time. Being second doesn't get it. To win, you have to be totally involved.
Oh, I have my hands in the car now and then, do some little adjustments. Something that I just want to do myself, because I want to know just how much or how little I'm adjusting. This is quite common as far as I'm concerned. I do a lot of that, some adjustments on the roll bars and things like that. I like to try to understand how a car is really put together, what effects certain changes make, or how the suspension operates, what happens when you deviate from the basic pattern or whatever that the designer has put into it. I think all these things are important to be able to try to achieve the ultimate out of the chassis.
To achieve the ultimate, that's what racing USAC championship cars is all about. The machine itself puts out 700 horsepower at 10,000 RPM and weighs less than a compact. And every year they get faster. There was a rumor going around at Indy that someone will run a lap average at over 180 miles an hour this year. 180, the magic number. The pressure on the drivers is magnified by what each new car can do. The object here is to touch the limit, but to go no further.
Mario's a mechanic's dream, really. But when he goes out and comes in, he'll tell you what the car is doing and where it's at, which is really a great advantage.
You're always constantly learning. You're learning from a situation and you're learning from another driver. But it wasn't a behavior being a stagger either. You know, I would just flat slick, you know.
You didn't even make a lap on the night.
You just stood on it.
Right. Well, might have been it.
Yeah, could have been, you know, I just tried to rush it in there. You know, just feel like you don't have time to waste.
Peter REVSON.
I think what prompted me to start was being a spectator and thinking I could do better than what I saw. Raced over in Europe for 3.5 years in small formula cars. of all variety, and then came back over here and started driving big cars. Well, racing was something I did relatively well to the other people that did it. And when I first started, I found out I had some ability, and I just kept at it.
It's no magic, it's a knack. I think different people are born with a knack. Some things come easier to some people. Let it be anything at all.
To the drivers, and especially American drivers, it represents the high point annually in prestige in American racing. To not be here is to relegate yourself to minor league status. To succeed here is to become a household word in America.
Qualification day, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
When I first started working out here, I wasn't really interested. Then after you get to know the people that are in the sport, and the wives and the children, this is the way I feel, then you become a part of it. It's like a family. Some of the guys get nauseous, they go into hysterics. I mean, it's a very emotional thing, and people don't really realize it.
The wind could be a factor in the ultimate speeds. It could slow us down up to 2 miles an hour.
How did the draw go yesterday?
We drew 49.
Out of how many? About 70, but couldn't draw any worse.
Does that really have a big bearing on it?
Sure. Track gets slower all the time.
From day to day, from hour to hour?
Hour to hour, day to day, unless it rains in between.
I drove for McLaren last year and did a reasonably good job in what we had. It was their first attempt at an Indianapolis car, and they had a lot to learn. I think they've come back this year with an excellent car, and my chances are very good to win the race.
Basically, we've just gone over it as if we were getting it ready for the race. It's just we didn't run yesterday, which enabled the crews to work the car over from front to rear. We checked the gearbox and checked all the brake discs and things that might go wrong. Our wastegate we'd had some problem with.
I think it's kind of intriguing. There are really two separate things that you have to do here. You have to be a qualifier first, then you have to be a racer.
In qualification, they give me a yellow flag, and he has a lap, out lap, and 2 other laps, and he must put his hand up before he, on the third time around. He can do it the first time, second, or third, and he has 4 consecutive laps. And we can abort the attempt if I put the yellow flag up prior to the 4th lap if I don't think he's gone fast enough. And then we have 3 opportunities to do that, 3 different separate times to qualify.
Is there any special thing you might tell Mario before he goes out now?
Take it easy.
Mark Donahue has drawn a lucky low number for his qualifying attempt. The experts say this is the best time, when the track is cool, fresh, and fast. Donahue has hit 180 in practice, an incredible 8 miles an hour faster than the qualifying record previously set by Joe Leonard in a turbine car.
And 3,900 seconds, and the speed 178.607 miles an hour. Mark Donahue, here he comes to complete lap number 2.
The other drivers watching Mark Donahue are worried. They have a right to be. Because of Mario's high number draw, he'll have to wait until later in the day to make his qualifying run. Predictions are the track will be slow because of heat and the pileup of rubber from race car tires. Waiting to run is agony.
Moving through the short stretch, approaching the 4th turn.
Mark Donahue has astounded everyone at the track. He's qualified at 177.087 miles an hour. It looks like he has the pole position. Peter REVSON is ready and waiting.
Even the 4th time as he comes out onto that stretch,
It is the number 2 car.
you decide to bring him in. That's your judgment.
Moving on number 2, and he's in the back
Raise
stretch.
the yellow flag from the time he comes on the stretch until he passes.
Halfway around on this
They're
one.
telling you to get off the throttle. They're telling us you're
The time speed report now.
Donahue's teammate, David Hobbs, is turning in a fast qualifying time, but not fast enough. He'll end up in the 6th row on race day.
And he's moving to the number 4 turn.
Even if it's the 4th
Coming
time,
out of the turn,
coming out,
straightaway.
you want to get off of it.
Don't run through here under power.
Coming down to complete another lap.
Good luck to you.
David Hobbs has finished his 4-lap qualifying run and has cleared the track for Peter Revson.
Pole position is so important because, number one, it is the best starting position in the race, because it's the best position on the track to lead the race and get out of whatever is going to happen behind you. Number two, it pays around $15,000, which is nothing to sneeze at. Number three, the prestige. Normally, the pole position winner will get as much print as the winner.
At the corner, here he is in the straightaway. Here he comes. And there he goes. Into that first turn once more. You won't believe it. 50 and 1,800 seconds speed. 179.354. Into the number 4 turn. Here he is coming out of the turn and into the straightaway. We have a new track record.
Peter Revson has qualified an unbelievable 178.696. Unless someone else betters the mark, the pole position belongs to Revson.
Donahue is not a type of driver to hang it out.
No, why didn't you order? I wonder what happened to him this morning.
He went slower and slower and slower, which means he was having an engine problem. Either that or he said it was greasy out there. So, as I said, he's not the kind of a driver, with all due respect, and I have great respect for him. There's a known fact that he's a good top driver, but he's not the kind of guy to really hang it out.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. So what he's doing is coming relatively easy compared to the other guys.
Yeah.
Which says more for the chassis again. Evidenced by the fact that Revson blew him out. Fastest speed Revson had today was 76. Till today. Now he jumps up with a 79. Driver. Right?
The drivers continue to qualify at Indy according to their number draw. At 2:30 in the afternoon, the hottest part of the day, Mario Andretti has his first chance at qualification. He can either call it off or take it today, right now. The decision and the consequences belong only to Mario and his crew.
Well, it all depends. We decided in the morning that we're going to go, period, you know, as we come up on the line, we'll take it no matter what time of the day. Perhaps at the time thinking that if we go at the end of the line, it would be too long a wait and a possibility that we won't get another chance. The other situation could arise is that you could have a problem, engine problem, whatever, during your qualification run, and if you're toward the end of the day, you certainly won't have time to correct it. Yet if you go a little earlier, give yourself a couple hours, you would have time to correct it, conceivably even make an engine change. So you take all these things in consideration and say, well, how much of a gambler am I? You know, how much do we want to gamble, really? And we just didn't want to gamble that much.
Mario and Craig, they're stuck to go out now.
Car number 5, Mario Andretti. Apron time, 2:44 p.m.
Time to qualify. For Mario and Jim McGee, for Vince and Joe and Andy Granatelli, for everyone on the crew, this is it. All of the work gone into the car over the past months, all of the practice and changes and practice again, everything has led to now. This is the prelude to what's been called the most important racing event in the United States. The time for getting ready is over. The decision has been made. The waiting has ended.
First practice, 3-9-2-1-6-7.
3-9-2-1-6-7.
Down to complete round number 1. Back into that first turn First lap. 410612. 410612. For a 51.74. And the speed is 173.947. 173.947. Second lap. 415827. 415827 for a 5215. And the speed is 172.579. Second lap was 52. 52 and 200 seconds. Speed 172.579. Slower yet. I got 52.3, say. 425049. 425049 for a 52.22. And the speed is 172.348. It comes down faster than McLaren. Faster than half a lap to go for 52.22 seconds. Moving out the fourth turn into the straightaway. Here he comes. Total time is 3.
Mario's average speed for qualification, 172.612. On race day, he'll start in the outside position on the third row. He tried for the first row, gave it everything he had and failed. Call it luck or whatever, it's one of the consequences of racing.
I know how frustrated you can get inside when things just don't go your way, but I don't really want to worry about that too much. Of course, the surprise, needless to say, was Peter REVSON. Not that he wouldn't be capable, I just didn't think the setup, was capable of that sort of speed, because I think he surprised himself, too. And all of a sudden, he got things really working, and I'm sure he got everything out of that car. It's so highly competitive that you almost go from day to day, as far as ideas are concerned. Dream something up at night. When you relax, what's really happening? What do I think could help the situation? Boom, you come up with something. Okay, you try it. This is, why didn't I think of that before? And, it's a creative world. You can't make a car successful because you just read a lot of books about it. You don't find the solution to these problems in a library. Obviously, this one makes it interesting, really.
The qualification and ceremonies are over, and now the drivers concern themselves with one thing only, the race 2 weeks away, and the fuel and tire tests and practice laps they'll put in on the 2.5-mile oval at Indianapolis, Indiana.
You're driving at a limit, you want to be able to drive to that safely. Now, it's not as simple as it may sound, but that's what gives you that little edge. You feel that you gave the very best that you could, and you're tired, you feel good tired. You get a tremendous feeling of accomplishment, and there's nothing that can replace that feeling. Believe me, nothing. The only way you can really feel good inside is if you can accomplish something and then look back and say, boy, I know I really worked for this. It didn't come easy. That's the whole thing in a nutshell, man.